The one thing that we should all be doing in the recruitment industry to stay relevant is to up your human,
Yeah.
because you've got to up your human to stay ahead of the AI. Use AI sensibly, but if you're going to be lazy,
Yeah.
then it's not going to work for you.
This next guest for the Recruiters Recruitment podcast joins me from the beautiful South Africa. I think she might officially be our first South African based guest. This is Vanessa Raath, who is a global talent sourcing trainer, international keynote speaker, and basically AI genius. She is training and educating people on what we all need to be doing better. Now, this isn't just another AI episode, because I know we're all a bit eye-rolly about it now, but what we are going to talk about today is about you upping your human to stay ahead of AI. She's going to share with us the components of her checklist, which were an absolute game changer for me, and what she thinks that every single recruitment entrepreneur should be doing if they're launching. And no matter where you are in your recruitment journey, what is the one thing she advises you to do? You're going to love Vanessa. Let's jump straight in. This is one of those episodes where I could literally talk off camera for hours to my guests, and I have to remember to press record. So thank you for joining me on the Recruiters Recruitment podcast. I'm your host, Lysha Holmes, and I am so excited for you all to get to know today. Somebody that I've had the honour to already host in another format on a webinar and get to know and follow and just basically girl fan generally. This is Vanessa Raath, who is the talent hunter. Welcome to you today, Vanessa. How are you?
Excellent. Thanks so much for having me on. I've looked forward to this for about 3 or 4 months now. So
Well,
thank you.
I was going to say this is 2.0 because we were supposed to record and I can't remember what happened, but we ended up having to move it to now. But we've got to know each
I had
other.
to go to Amsterdam.
You did. Now, and I
Yes.
think you are officially, and we're not including Greg Savage in this, you are officially our first South African guest, which is very
Yay.
exciting.
I'll own it.
You own
Excellent.
it. What is it you call Greg Savage?
He's like an honorary South African because he does say that he's Australian. So, he must choose. He must make a decision.
Now, he is a friend of the show, so thank you for that little plug for Greg Savage. But let's get to introduce you because you are just somebody that I'm vibing off, and I have loved getting to know you. So tell us about who you are and what you do.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, let's start with most recently because my past includes being a scuba diving instructor in Thailand, a tour guide in the Masai Mara, a school teacher in London. But for the last 7 years, I have been the talent hunter. I'm a talent sourcing trainer. I had a midlife crisis about 3 years ago. I pivoted to doing more in the AI space. And now I'm known as the AI talent sourcing trainer or a combination of any of those. And the most important thing is I love what I do.
You do. And I have to say, all the bit before we get onto the talent bit and the AI bit, I follow you on Instagram now, and it's just I've got such envy for where you
Ah,
live in the world. Like I have to come over. It's like I have to come and visit. And you
yeah.
just look like you are one of those lives people that you just squeeze out every bit of joy and you appreciate and have gratitude for everything around you.
Yeah, especially when it comes to nature. This is my last meeting today. We're going to finish at 4 o'clock South African time, and I'm literally taking myself off to the beach just so that I can go and have a look, see what's happening, and then finish my day, take a few deep breaths, and come home.
You see, I mean, and as we record this now, it's only 1 o'clock in the afternoon, but I feel like it's already going dark in the UK. So 4 o'clock in the UK,
Oh,
in November, it is literally pajama time practically. So I think I might have
yeah, I hear you.
offline. So anyway, like, we're not going to talk about the sad that everyone's feeling in the UK right now. So you are the talent hunter, but you're also this AI trainer, which is how I got to know you through the Women in Recruitment Leadership, which was through Angela Cripps. I think she introduced you to the community, and I hosted you on a webinar. And I have to say, when I did that webinar with you, I was a bit gutted because it was meant to be Alison Humphreys hosting it, and she had no voice. I jumped in because I wanted to listen and participate, and I still have
Thank
all
you.
my notes from that
Oh,
webinar.
wow.
And
Okay.
I implemented so many of your recommendations, and I genuinely did, which is why I was like, you have to come on. So can you just
Thank you.
give me an overview of, so our listeners are, if you're listening now, you might say this isn't me, but generally from the feedback we get, and obviously the analytics can only really tell us so much, is recruitment leaders and founders and those who are working in the recruitment space who are quite relatively new in their career. They're trying to learn as much as possible. And those who, maybe have an interest in the recruitment industry, we have a lot of recruitment marketeers, for example, that follow, and internal people. So as we're in 2026 and with, the AI evolution, we're kind of settling down now. I'd like to think that we're kind of in this ecosystem where most people now, we don't want to do an AI podcast on why you should be implementing it. It should be more around where are you at? So what do you think we should be thinking about right now, and where are we sitting as an industry? Do you believe in this new AI world that we are living in?
I believe in it, and I do believe that we have to accept it. So if you were to look at, all of those people that you named, where I'd like to see people sitting is in the fact that they are using some form of AI to free up more time to spend with human beings. So let me like break that out a little bit. I'm saving 2 to 3 hours a day now by using AI smartly, because I don't know if you've heard me say this. I say this often. It is, do you know any recruiter that went into recruitment because they love admin?
Yeah, no, I remember you asking.
Hell no. Okay. No.
No.
Recruiters hate admin. They never update the CRM or the ATS or anything like that. So my big advocacy in this space is that recruiters should be using AI to do those very boring but necessary administrative tasks and free up the time, but be very intentional with the time they free up and spend time building communities, networking with people in their recruiting niche, spending time building a client base, going to conferences, those kind of things, because those are recruiters' strengths. It's not literally sitting and typing emails and emails and emails.
No, it really isn't. I totally agree with you. And
Yeah.
I think it's a very daunting prospect for anybody that's listening that maybe hasn't adapted to that.
Yeah.
I will hold my hands up and say that, having spent, not least because of your webinar, actually, a large part of 2025 really working on my business to ensure that we were, AI proofing ourselves and utilizing
Yeah.
the best tech out there, not being magpies, by the way, and spending money on every subscription, but just basically saying,
Yes. Good.
we need to ensure, I know we'll come on to that, we need to ensure that even a business of our size, we're a boutique small business, that I hate admin, I can't stand it, doing our data migration, most of the data of the last 15 years, it was just basically CVs. We haven't put any coding in there. So it's about removing yourself. It's so refreshing to hear someone who's, you are such an advocate for the automation and AI that we should be using, that this isn't about bogging us down in more tech. This is about saying, go and do the bit that's the fun bit. Get out and see more.
Yeah.
This isn't about
Drink more coffees.
Yeah, get out and about.
Yeah.
I want to throw something contrary at you, because I saw my brother-in-law at the weekend, and I don't think he listens, so he won't mind me sharing this. And if he does, well, he's not listening. He runs an accountancy practice, and we were just talking that they've implemented AI in their business, and he said, this was his sentence: I think we are sleepwalking ourselves into a future where our children will have no income. And I realise this is a little bit off the recruitment, but I almost want to contextualise it in terms of, we have a responsibility as employers and partners to employees. Like, what do you think about that statement, first of all?
Look, I think it's valid to a certain degree. I think it's about the way that we use tech to enable us. So I speak to a lot of people. So remember, I've put together that list for recruiters of all of the AI tools, and I speak to a lot of people who are building the tech. And not one of them is actually looking to replace recruiters.
Okay.
As soon as I see a tool there that is looking to replace a recruiter, I won't advocate it. I don't believe that you can take the human out of the process. But I think it's about using it successfully to work to your strengths. So recruiter strengths are relationship building, people skills, do more of that as opposed to the admin. So I don't encourage people to become lazy and to rely on AI to do a large part of what you're required to do as a recruiter. So when I see recruiters doing things like spamming my inbox with, newsletters and just crap that I can see has been generated using generative AI, or posting on LinkedIn, which isn't written by them because I know the way they speak, I can pick up the AI jargon. I'm like, why are you doing that? Because the one thing that we should all be doing in the recruitment industry to stay relevant, or accountancy, is to up your human.
Yeah.
because you've got to up your human to stay ahead of the AI. Use AI sensibly, but if you're going to be lazy,
Yeah.
then it's not going to work for you. And I think that that is relevant in any industry that is out there at the moment.
That is, I know now that's going to be the title of this podcast. Up
Oh, wonderful.
human,
What was it? What
up
did you
your
write down?
human. It's in my northern
Up
accent.
your
Up
human.
your human to stay ahead.
Yeah.
And that is, like you say, it's relevant across every single industry. And I
Yeah.
think, it's a challenge, isn't it, when we're thinking about the future of jobs. This is a much like, let's take a step back here and look out as a perspective of what jobs are going to be relevant and exist in 5 years, 10 years, 20 years.
Yeah.
It will all be around jobs that are either specifically related to the AI and automation sector, machine learning,
Yeah.
technology as it is, or it
Yeah.
will
Yeah.
that maybe have, there will be some potentially admin based roles that will be extinct. But I think from the beginning of time, we could say that from the Industrial Revolution, right? You
Yeah.
know, that
Yeah.
as human beings, we are looking at evolving ourselves and making ourselves more skilled in that way. So you're somebody that is a huge, user advocate. And how do we know? So if we're speaking specifically to our leaders listening now, I alluded to the fact that we're magpies. We like to be sold. Salespeople like to be sold
Yes.
to, right?
Yes.
So
Everyone wants AI. They don't know why though. But we need AI. We want AI.
and it's like, it's all about what, looking at what other people have got and going, oh, well, hang on, you're using that. I need to go into that now. And oh, no, you've got
Yeah.
that subscription. So let's just all calm down. I think we have calmed.
Yes.
I'd like to think most people
Yes.
listening have calmed down a bit. So how do I know as a business leader whether the next piece of tech or AI is going to be right? Like, how do we assess it to see whether it's right for us?
Okay. So that's a very loaded question.
Mm.
So the first thing, again, I'll refer to my AI tried and tested tool sheet, which we'll share a link to, I hope, is the stipulation is it has to be cheaper than LinkedIn Recruiter. So what I'm hearing from loads of my clients all over the world at the moment is we cannot afford LinkedIn Recruiter licenses. We want to make sure that we're not getting tied in for 2 years, 3 years with LinkedIn. What is an alternative? What can we use? So for me, it's about, and I've actually morphed into this role. This is why I keep mentioning I'm having like an identity crisis, is I've now become an AI strategist stroke consultant for recruitment companies. So what I do is I spend a lot of time with recruitment companies looking at their processes, and you can pretty much map a recruitment process to 8 steps and picking out which of those 8 steps is causing you friction, is slowing you down, is delaying your time to hire, and what is the specific AI solution that we
Okay.
need in that space. Which
Amazing.
is why I've really taken one for the team, and I have met with over 100 AI vendors in the last 12 months to see who does what is effective, what isn't great, and then we can plug in that solution, or it could be as simple as a bit of training around how do you build your own GPT and open AI, and we do that with the team. So every situation and scenario is unique. So for me, it all depends on the size of your budget. And also, my next piece of advice to answer that is go with a solution that does the most end to end. Now, there isn't a solution that exists that's going to replace recruiters. It's not out there. I think people will try, but I think it's going to take a long time to land, and it would be in certain sectors only. But you want to find someone, and I've just come off a nice 2 hour training session with Angela from the recruiting gym, is find something that does a lot of things. So one of the questions was, then we need a tool, or should I build a GPT that can take a raw CV, put it in the agency's format, so that I'm not sitting there manually typing up a CV? The biggest bugbear of agencies all over the world. And my answer was, let's not reinvent the wheel, because we now, just because we are recruiters who know a little bit about AI, we're not technical. Why must we build our own CV writer? Let's find a tool that does that, but let's actually find one that also records our meeting with the candidate. It takes those notes, it enhances the CV with those, it puts together a summary, sends it to the client. So you've got to determine what is the start point of the AI tool, what is the end point, and how much are you paying for that?
Okay.
And you've got to ask these questions, because you don't want to be, as you say, like a magpie, the new shiny new, yes, I'll take one of those and 6 of those, because we've seen those tools crash now. So you've got to be really smart about the way you approach it.
I've had a number of conversations with clients who are actually building their own GPT, and I think they're brilliant that they've done that. Interestingly, about half of them haven't then gone and used it. They've built
That
it.
is so weird.
I
I
know.
use mine all the time, and I'm constantly talking to them, training them, updating them. You know, that piece of work, that proposal you put together was crap. I'm going to upload a new example of what I want it to look like.
Yeah.
Don't go off and do your own thing. This is the structure that I want. You know, it's a work in progress.
It is. Well, it's the prompts, isn't it? That's the key thing to using a GPT. It's understanding what you
It is about the prompts, but it's also about like if you build your own custom GPTs in OpenAI with the models changing. So there was recently the model changed from 4 to 5. It's a different kind of model. It thinks differently. So your training in the GPT has to be updated to suit the new model.
wow, you just have to constantly. This is the thing when you're a leader, right? You have
Tell
to
me about it.
constantly be
Yeah.
learning and developing. You think you've just nailed something, and then something else happens. That's the
I
key.
know, it's like you feel like you're on top of your game for 10 minutes and then someone releases a new something or other. Like last week it was Atlas or Comet before that. You know, now there's AI web browsers and you're like, am I ever going to get on top of that? And for people like me feel like that. I can imagine, you know, how people who are also trying to run a recruiting desk and recruit feel about AI. I mean, it's completely overwhelming.
Yeah, it really is. What do you think about people that are staying below the parapet and are not doing anything with AI and are just, but that maybe I'm probably thinking of solopreneurs who have been in their market for a long time. You know, maybe they've got their black book, whether it's a real black book or an online black book in their WhatsApp, whatever it might be, but they know
Yeah.
that inside
Mm.
out and they're like, don't need to. I don't need to
Mm.
be in this world of AI. What would you say to those people who I imagine are quite a minority, I would think?
Not as much as a minority as you think. So in South Africa, we call it they're doing the ostrich. They're sticking their head in the sand. Lisha, to be honest with you, I just feel sorry for those people because you ignoring the fact that AI isn't going to take your job away from you. And I mean, you get some really big names, especially in the UK, that are naysayers about AI and posting all the time on LinkedIn and being negative about it, is that it's here. No one can help that it's here. You may as well embrace it. And the reason why I say feel sorry for those people is that I'm a solopreneur. And I know how much time it saves me. I was at a conference in Amsterdam recently, and someone came up to me and said, Van, oh my God, how do you do it? You everywhere. And I showed them one tool. And I said, this is literally how I stay on top of my YouTube shorts and my TikTok. And it's one AI tool that I spend half an hour on every month. And I take webinars like this that we're on. It slices it up, it writes all the content, it puts in the hashtags, and I schedule it directly from there into a calendar and it posts. I don't even go to those platforms. I don't sit on TikTok. Um, I'm a fan of the University of YouTube, but I use it very much to learn stuff, not watch other people's shorts. And the amount of work that I get from that for the half an hour that I put in using AI for me is just unbelievable. And that's what I'm saying is that you can ignore it all you want, but it's only you who's suffering. And I just, as I say, I feel sad for them because they could be doing so much.
I don't know why, but it's making me think about the Netflix and Blockbuster story, where Blockbuster,
Kodak.
literally.
Yeah.
Kodak, yeah. All these brands that were just like, we're the pinnacle of our career. I don't need anyone to tell
Yeah.
me how it's changing. And it's like, eek, videos no longer. I mean, they still exist, right? For those who are a little bit retro, but yeah, I think it's almost segueing back to what my brother-in-law said. It's not that we're sleepwalking, but the reality is it's here. And I see it as, we've had AI, we've had automation for 20 odd years. It's just evolving in
Yeah.
different ways.
And we have access to it now,
And we
so
do.
which is far easier.
And from a
Yeah.
cost perspective, it's obviously, diminishing because there's so many competitors out there. So if you were launching, this is how I want to finish because we get a lot of people who message us. There might not be a huge amount of listeners, but we get a lot of people who are thinking about launching on their own. If you were going to launch a recruitment company tomorrow, what would your advice be in terms of setting your stall out to be successful?
So for me, and again, I speak from a solopreneur, I went on my own 7 years ago. The biggest asset to me has been building a brand.
Right.
And so many people don't pay any attention to that. I travel around the world speaking at conferences. I am a guest. I never say no to being a guest on a webinar or podcast. half of these people I've never met in my life before.
Mm.
And it's because I have a brand, I have an opinion, I post every day on LinkedIn, I give information away for free. I have a Tuesday newsletter that goes out, which is always something new. And I think that people don't realize the power of sharing when it comes to being a solopreneur. So it's actually no fancy tech, even though I would recommend that you
Yeah, yeah,
start,
yeah.
doing some work and, finding out how generative AI can save you time and things like that. But it's less technical than you think, and it's more about being a good person, having a brand, and standing out.
I absolutely love that. I wasn't expecting you to say that actually, but I couldn't
But
agree
it's
more.
true though, isn't it?
Yeah. And go on, I'm going to ask you something contrary. Where do you think
Sure.
where do you think LinkedIn will be in 5 years' time?
This is going to be really interesting. I'm going to look back at this in 5 years. So
Okay.
I think the reason why LinkedIn is hiking their prices and they're tying people into exceptionally long contracts of 2, 3 years, that people can't get out of it. Yet you've get a lot of people out there who are saying that the TA industry is going to collapse. It's not going to be as big. I mean, my personal prediction is that between 50 to 70% of people who work in recruitment in the TA industry in 5 years aren't going to be around. So, what does that do to the key user base for LinkedIn? Why do you think they're stacking now, trying to put up their prices, 2, 3 year contracts? For me, I've never paid for LinkedIn. It's always been a place that I've used to build a brand. And whenever I wanted a source on it, I x-rayed and I wrote Boolean. So, where LinkedIn will be in 5 years, I would like to say that there's another big competitor that's coming out, but there are definitely going to be competitors as a professional network that are coming into play. But from a recruiting perspective, I think there's going to be a lot of people paying for better AI tools that are going to do the sourcing for them and not paying for LinkedIn Recruiter anymore.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, interestingly, I've been a user of LinkedIn since 2007, so I was quite an early adopter, really. I don't think there were many recruiters on there even then. And for the
Yeah.
first time ever, they pitched to me because I'm just LinkedIn Premium. Um, and I'm the same as you. It's how you use it, and I've built a personal brand at the right time, so it's all inbound.
And you continue your personal brand. Like, I mean, we were talking before the show. Like, I know about your goth daughter. I know that you don't drink. And I think those things are really important for me, for someone who's going to come be a potential guest on your podcast or a potential client or a potential candidate. You share so openly and give so much back. You're my kind of person.
Yeah. But that's the thing, isn't it? These are the things that when you think about what is accessible for people listening now that is not going to cost you any money, it's about doing these things continuously, authentically, and doing it with that intention. You used the word intention before, and I think it doesn't get talked about enough. I think people think, well, if I just go and buy the best CRM and I just go and pay for the best marketing agency, but actually you need to have that intention in what it is you're trying to achieve. And I think, I can't honestly say that the dependency on LinkedIn is what has made me successful because it only actually warrants about 20% of my revenue. So we don't rely on LinkedIn. I've always thought that there has to be a contender. So my prediction is that I think that we are too reliant on LinkedIn, and I think in 5 years'
Yes.
time there will be a firm contender, whether it's Perplexity, which is one that you recommended to me, but I think that there are too many challenger brands now to say we don't all need to sit on LinkedIn. Now, actually, as a rec to rec, because obviously I recruit for recruitment companies, LinkedIn has always been dominated by recruiters. This is the irony. It's like
Mm.
all the recruiters
Yeah.
are on there. I find your prediction about internal talent very interesting because I had a previous guest on where we were talking around the challenges of internal recruiters obviously being trained in the AI and actual end user brands are bringing the AI in.
Yeah.
But I've seen that trajectory since the meta crash in 2023. And I think that it's interesting that, where are those people going to go? What land is there ahead for internal talent people? Because ultimately they've got incredible skills that can be utilized in other industries and other markets. So I don't know, maybe we'll revert back in 2020, 2031. Oh my God. Um,
Yeah.
ooh,
Yeah.
I mean, who knows where I'll be?
Yeah.
I might be doing
That, yeah.
flying car. I might be in my flying car. This might not even be me in 5 years' time. It might be my
Yeah.
avatar. Sounding.
Well, considering that I already have an avatar that does all of my training in my online academy, that's already been done.
Exactly. Are you
Yeah,
owning your are you going to own your face and your voice though? Because I know that there's legislation now that
yeah,
means you can. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, absolutely, 100%. Yeah, I definitely want to be put, don't want to be put down for a deep fake. But I think it's going to be super interesting. And I think, that as you say, recruiters are on LinkedIn all the time. It's like Christmas for recruiters. We all love LinkedIn. But if someone comes up with a better solution, then, maybe something that's more AI enhanced, then recruiters are fickle. They'll move.
Oh, we are. I mean, I've been in this industry for 27 years. And
Wow.
yeah, I know. But this is the thing which keeps me grounded, that there's always been a threat to recruiters. First of all, it was job
Oh,
boards, then it was LinkedIn.
yeah.
And it's
Then it
about,
was the internet.
well, yeah, I mean, God, that I am that old. It was the internet, and then it was job boards, and then it was, then it was LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and I
Then
think
it was internal teams. Internal teams were going to replace
mindset,
it.
and it's about how you work with these threats. And I think it's about creating opportunity, which sounds really cheesy, but it's true. And I think
Yeah.
those people who choose to take their time to listen to this podcast rather than listen to some music, or nothing wrong listening to music,
Yep.
right? But it's about going, right, what can I do to ensure? So what would I guess your final piece of advice be to anyone listening, wherever they are in the world, wherever they are in their recruitment career, to take into 2026? What is the one thing you can impart in your advice as a trainer in this huge topic?
I would say the key thing would be activate your passionate curiosity. So, not just your curiosity, your passionate curiosity. And by that, I mean, no one's going to do this for you. So go and start being curious about these tools. Start jumping on a couple of demos just because you want to see what AI can do and you want to make sure you're future-proofing yourself for the future. Look at different LLMs and run the same prompts through them. Experiment because you need to have a good understanding of what AI is. You don't have to use it every day, but every conversation in the future is going to involve some kind of element around AI. And the more educated that you can be around the topic, the better.
Yeah. I know, I think that's brilliant advice. And as someone who had to eat her frog, probably 2023 time. And by the way, I am not a technical person at all.
Yeah.
It really is not that daunting. And I think it's almost this view of, like, I'm going to use the analogy of joining the gym, going, well, they're all doing high rocks and they're all running marathons. And I'm like, hey, listen, I joined the gym at 48 years of age, having never been in a gym before. I just want to feel 1% better today. That's all I want. And I just want to be able to live lift
Yeah.
5 kg more than I did yesterday.
Yeah.
So I think
Yeah.
thinking to yourself, I just want to learn a little bit about what this
Yeah.
is. Don't get afraid. Don't think you're going to become an expert or a programmer or anything.
Yeah.
Just go. The best one I think to get on is something like a chat GPT, and just ask it for a recipe.
Absolutely.
Ask it for,
Yeah.
tell you a joke or something. It doesn't even have to be a business related thing, but just get to
Yeah.
it, because
You'll actually learn how to use it better from a personal perspective. So I've got the moment I've actually got it. It's built up an eating plan that's high in protein because I need to up my protein. And it's those kind of things that are it's just using it. It's that passionate curiosity to go and try. And as I say, no one's going to do it for you.
no one's going to do it for you. So here's your challenge,
Mm-mm.
guys. Having listened to this, and we will make sure the link is to that amazing, amazing checklist, because I can't tell you what a game changer it was for me. I've said it a million
Excellent.
times. I'll say it again, it really was. But I'm asking you, if you're listening to this now and you've already been an AI implementer and you're as ahead as you can be, well done you. If you're not and you're still not dubious, but maybe you're a bit cautious, just put your phone down or get your laptop, whatever it is, just go and have a look, have a play around, do what Vanessa says, and
Yep.
we want to know in the chat, and we want to know on LinkedIn. Go and comment on it and
Yep.
feedback to me and Vanessa what you did to just give yourself a little bit more of a skill set on it, and then go and have some
Yep.
fun.
Yeah.
Go and have some fun.
Exactly.
I knew you'd be
Exactly.
amazing, and hopefully we will get rid of the little glitch, because ironically we think that there was a little gremlin in the Wi-Fi, which shuts down midway through. So hopefully nobody will know that. But you are amazing, and you're now going to go to the beach. I'm
I'm gonna go and have a walk. Yeah. Go and have a walk, then come back, catch up on a few things. Because actually, while I go for a walk, is I plug myself in and I can chat to my GPTs and I can talk about, what we've discussed. I can talk about my day. We can work on how to improve, where AI could assist me. It's always a work in progress of doing better.
I think so, and it's just they're your little helpers. That's all they are.
Exactly.
I'm very polite.
Exactly.
I'm very polite to mine. I hope you are too. I bet you are, aren't you? I always
But
say,
you see, the thing is that one day when the robots take over the world, they're going to remember us because we were polite and we'll get special treatment. So keep being polite.
yeah, I 100% agree with you. I knew you'd be a pleasure. Thank you so much for joining us on the
Thanks
Recruitment.
for having me.
You're
See you
welcome.
soon.